He said he's going to make you quit.
He said
he's going to make you quit.
Oh, right. Yeah.
What do you make of that?
Make him quit. Yeah, it should be the main event. Heavyweight boxing is boxing. So
I think he's going to go in there, try and box him smart, step around the ring, use that weight to try and hold his own. And Daniel Dubois will try and walk through him. He's a young man that really and truly believes in himself now, and his last few wins have actually cemented that to say, you know what, I'm not a quitter. You know what, I've got a bit more fighting left in me. You know, all these question marks that were put above his head.
The best now is Joseph Parker. Why? Because he's not a big heavyweight. He's quick. He throws combinations. He has a great trainer with him now in Andy Lee, and he's more comfortable than I've ever seen him in his whole career. And so I think that is actually a very good fight for both fighters.
The boxing world feeds on rumors, whispers, and training camp tales, each capable of igniting hype or casting doubt over an upcoming fight. Few stories hit harder than whispers of a top-level fighter being knocked out in sparring, as such revelations raise immediate questions about a fighter's readiness, durability, and mental state heading into...
I heard none of that. Just straight up performance, clinical performance I got to do. I feel like I can outbox him. I got better tools than him.
Into a major bout. This week, it was Chris Eubank Jr. at the center of the storm, with claims circulating that he had been floored in training ahead of his high-stakes rematch with Conor Benn. Former world champion Carl Froch, a veteran of countless brutal training camps, didn't hide his shock when the story reached
on another level, and you guys will see. You guys will see. I'm just on another level now. Tunnel vision coming for that chin, test that chin, bring the heat, and you know, put all what I got to do, be a complete clinical.
Sparring, Froch explained, is meant to sharpen a fighter's tools, not collapse under them. If Eubank Jr. really hit the canvas in camp, Froch warned, the implications are massive. The Benn rematch isn't just another payday. It's a fight loaded with pride, revenge, and legacy. The kind of bout that defines careers. For Eubank to show even a hint of vulnerability this close to fight night.
Well, you know that you're going to get a well-prepared fighter. He's the champion of the world. He wants to remain champion of the world. But my goal is to take that away from him and be champion.
Night could drastically swing the momentum in Benn's favor. Froch's reaction underlined the gravity of the rumor, but he wasn't the only one weighing in. As the whispers grew louder, other major voices in boxing stepped forward. Some dismissed the chatter as meaningless gym talk, while others treated it as a red flag.
And Joe Parker, this is the right time for him. It doesn't mean he's going to win, but I'll tell you what, he'll never get a better chance because mentally, physically, even spiritually, like you can see how happy he is in his preparation and in life at the moment, that this just might be the right time for him to become a two-time world heavyweight.
A signal that Eubank's preparation may not be as solid as it appears. Promoter Frank Warren, never one to mince words, offered a blunt and damning take. If the rumors were true, Warren said, Eubank's approach to camp was stupid. Heading into a fight of this magnitude with such weaknesses exposed, Warren warned, was practically courting disaster. At the same time, Warren made a revealing admission. It was the first time he'd ever heard of Eubank Jr. being dropped in sparring. Fighters do get caught in the gym, Warren reminded everyone, and usually it goes unnoticed because it's far from unusual. The difference here was that this particular story leaked into headlines, suggesting that confidence in Eubank might be starting to shake within his own camp. For Warren, sparring knockdowns weren't the issue. The real danger lay in timing and preparation. If Eubank allowed distractions to creep in or delayed key adjustments, Warren warned, his chances of victory would crumble. In Warren's eyes, this rematch is potentially make or break for Eubank's career. Former cruiserweight champion Johnny Nelson brought a different perspective, one shaped by Eubank's unique personality. Nelson pointed out that Eubank has always carried immense confidence, whether in the ring or the gym.
Parker will come in at a career heaviest, and Joseph Parker is technically the better fighter out of the two, the better boxer out of the two. The better fighter is Daniel Dubois. So Joseph Parker's got to be smart enough, use that extra weight he's put on to try and absorb, hold the wrestle if the wrestle comes on when Daniel comes in and tries to rough him up. And he's
that confidence, he explained, is a double-edged sword. On the positive side, it shows belief, a willingness to engage with elite sparring partners, even seasoned world-class names. But on the flip side, overconfidence can create dangerous openings, moments where bravado overrides caution. Nelson didn't outright dismiss the rumor, but he framed it differently. For him, this story reflected who Eubank is, a fighter who dares to impose himself, even when it's risky. That daring edge makes him unpredictable and dangerous, but it also gives someone like Ben opportunities to exploit. Later, Nelson went a step further, suggesting that Eubank may not be evolving technically as much as fans believe. He highlighted moments where Eubank has appeared heavy-legged, almost as though stuck in quicksand, struggling to make tactical adjustments at the elite level. Confidence is one thing, Nelson said, but has he really improved, or is he
Best if it did happen, but as you know, boxing, there's a lot of things that happen behind the scenes that we don't really know of or that we don't really hear of, and there's things always being lined up, but I'm not too sure.
still the same fighter? In Nelson's view, Conor Benn has shown visible growth and development in his style, while Eubank has remained static. That stagnation, Nelson argued, could be the difference maker. His prediction was stark, another grueling 12-round war, but this time with the result flipped in Benn's favor. Always raw and unfiltered, Derek Chisora took a completely different stance, dismissing the entire story as little more than training room noise. To Chisora, sparring knockdowns are simply part of the process. Sparring is like a classroom, Chisora explained. You make mistakes, you get caught, you push boundaries. That's how you learn. For him, being dropped in camp doesn't define a fighter, it strengthens them. It's an opportunity to sharpen awareness, toughen resilience, and make adjustments before fight night. Chisora even suggested that the rumor might be a good sign, proof that Eubank isn't coasting through preparation but instead...
Daniel Dubois aside is the most informed heavyweight in the world.
Yeah, both of them in great form, to be fair, yeah.
If anything, I think actually Joseph Parker is in better form than Daniel Dubois, because that spree of fights of Deontay Wilder, Zhilei Zhang.
Yeah, great.
Let's just look at it for what it is.
Yeah.
It's absolutely ridiculous, because Zhilei Zhang was undefeated, in my opinion, until he faced Joseph Parker.
Becoming a bit of a giant killer, Joseph Parker, really, isn't he?
He really has, and I've got to give
Daniel Dubois next on the list for him.
Being tested to his limits. Few people understand the rough realities of elite boxing gyms better than former heavyweight champion Shannon "Let's Go" champ Briggs. Speaking from experience, Briggs admitted he'd been floored in sparring more than once during his career. It never stopped me from winning under the bright lights, Briggs said. He stressed that sparring knockdowns are commonplace, part of every fighter's journey. What truly matters is not what happens in the gym, but how a fighter responds under the pressure of fight night. Sparring is where you make mistakes, Briggs explained. You get hurt there so you don't get hurt when it counts. That's the whole point of camp. To Briggs, the rumor wasn't a reason for panic, but a sign that Eubank is pushing himself to the brink in preparation. This is what camp is for, Briggs concluded. You get tested, you get caught, you learn. And then you walk into that ring sharper and stronger than ever. As the rematch draws closer, the truth behind the rumor may remain unclear. But
with one decent body shot the whole fight, to which Usyk tapped his belly and just said, "What was that?" And then there was zero else coming back. And that's, in my opinion, that's the attitude and that's the mentality of a guy that when the going gets tough, he doesn't want to fight. And you can never change that.
one thing is certain, whether it was a slip, a stumble, or a brutal knockdown, every whisper only adds fuel to a rivalry already burning white hot. As the sparring rumors continued to swirl, trainer Buddy McGirt shifted the focus away from gym gossip and back to where it truly matters, the fight itself. For McGirt, this rematch between Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn won't be decided by headlines or whispers. It will come down to what happens in the championship rounds, when fatigue sets in and both men are pushed to their physical and mental limits. In those deep waters, McGirt said, that's where champions are made. Sparring knockdowns mean nothing if you can't handle the fire when your body is screaming to quit. McGirt laid out the tactical paths for both fighters. For Benn, the key will be to drag Eubank into those uncomfortable late rounds, testing his legs, probing for weaknesses, and forcing a stamina war. Benn must keep the pressure relentless, breaking Eubank's rhythm and spirit. For Eubank, the challenge will be the opposite, controlling the tempo, conserving energy early, and using his experience to come on strong as the fight progresses. If he can dictate the pace,
what direction we're going to go in for this next step.
Who is next? Is Moses Itoma on the horizon?
All the guys in the heavyweight division, yeah, they're all, the guy, especially the one who has the belts, and you know, if the belts fragment or whatever, stuff like that can happen. Whatever way I can become two-time heavyweight champion, that's where I'm going.
McGirt believes Eubank's veteran savvy could carry him to victory. Boxing analyst Barry Jones added a pragmatic, almost somber tone to the conversation. He reminded fans that this rematch is destined to be punishing, no matter the outcome. The first fight was grueling, Jones said. The second will be no different. Unless there's a freak early stoppage, both fighters are in for another long, brutal night. Despite the criticism currently surrounding Eubank, Jones still tipped him as the logical favorite. His reasoning wasn't hype, but experience. Eubank has proven durability, proven conditioning, and the kind of resilience that thrives in wars of attrition, Jones explained. Ben may be hungry, but hunger alone doesn't conquer experience. Through all the chaos, Chris Eubank Jr. himself remained calm and composed, a stark contrast to the storm of speculation around him. The bitterness that fueled the first fight had cooled, but not.
So Joe's faced all these things that Dubois has, but not to the same extent. You know what I mean? That's the great thing for Joe, that he's been in there with these big punches.
Because the rivalry was over, Eubank simply felt he had already proven his superiority. This time, he vowed, there would be no dragging the fight to the judges, no 12-round wars. I will end this with authority, with a knockout, Eubank declared, sending a chilling message to Ben's camp. For Eubank, this isn't about validation anymore. It's about finishing the rivalry once and for all. Golden Boy promoter Oscar De La Hoya added an often overlooked factor into the debate: weight cutting. Even a single pound can make the difference between strength and weakness, composure and collapse, De La Hoya warned. He recalled fighters fainting on the scales, drained to dangerous levels in pursuit of a competitive edge that ultimately backfired. His comments struck a nerve, especially given that Eubank's severe weight cut was a major talking point before the first Ben fight. Critics argued that Eubank wasn't fighting at full strength that night. If Eubank struggled last time, De La Hoya said, fans may not have seen the best version of him. If he's healthier and stronger this time, the balance of power could tilt heavily in his favor. No rivalry is worth destroying yourself before the first bell.